Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the previous class, we have completed chapter 1 from This is Tajweed Rules of the Quran, book 2. Chapter 1 was An-Nabr fi Tilawati al-Quran al-Kareem. We saw that there were 5 cases when we have to do Nabr. Initially, if you don't remember, just keep on reading and writing it. It will take time to remember, no problem. And there is one part pending, which is the audio for this, where there is a verb in the past tense for two people doing the action. Did the action in the past. So in that verb conjugation, there will be an alif. So after that, directly you will have a sukoon. It will join to the sukoon letter. So that alif will get skipped if you directly join, because that is what is the rule of Arabic, that when there is a sukoon, it connects to the previous haraka. So what you need to do is, here you all have to do nabr, which I said I'll be sending the audio of one of the qari. So this part is left for me to put in the group. I'll put the image and then I'll send the audio as well. Today, inshallah, we will be beginning with the second chapter, which is characteristics of the letter. It is sifatul huruf. Sifat means characteristic. Huruf means alphabets, plural of letters. Letters, the sifat is what makes a letter different from the others. When we did makhraj, we saw that there are a couple of letters in the same makhraj. For example, Seen, Zai, and Sad. They all are from the same point, from the same place. S, as, and else. But all the three sounds, you see that all the three sounds are coming different. Why? Because their sifat is different. Like how each person is unique, same way each alphabet is also unique. Each person may have different characteristics or nature about them. Same way, every alphabet will have different kinds of nature. So one may have 3 or 4, one may have 5, 6, like that. So you need to know what all are the total characteristics and which alphabet will have which kind of characteristics. So when you combine makhraj with sifat, and makhraj, if your makhraj is right, most of the sifat gets covered in that. But there are a couple of things where sifat comes separately as well. So when you combine makhraj and sifat, your recitation, inshallah, will become very beautiful even just by this. And then applying the rules is just matter of the hiding sound, the gunna, making the mad long, making it short. But the main part of recitation is makhraj and sifat, because even changing the makhraj, it will sound like a different letter. Same way like S and S. If I don't differentiate the sifat between them, they will sound the same. They will sound sa and sa. But one is sa, other is saw. So if you don't apply all the sifat for the letter that you are reciting, it will come as a totally different letter, or if not, then it will not be correct. The correct application of the sifat, what does it do? It makes the letters very clear. It even shows the various timings of the second letters. Like for example, we saw that qalqala, it was aq, but other letters were just at. So the sukoon also differs. So why it differs? Because of the sifat. So this is very important to the aspect of Quranic recitation. Now, when you study the sifat, it will be very clear for you as well about the letters, what all sounds, how it should come, which are the weak letters, which are the strong letters. So that's why we know that studying sifat of alphabets is very important part of Tajweed. Tajweed, as we saw, it is made up of 3 parts. One is when you're reciting alphabets. You need to know the alphabets to recite, right? So alphabets, which is makhraj. Alphabets are nothing but a pictorial representation of sounds. That is what is an alphabet. It in picture form, it represents, this is ba. When you write ba, okay, this means this. I have to make the sound of b. So that is pictorial representation of the sound b. So alphabets are those representations. So one part is makhraj, the alphabet itself. How do you recite it? The other thing is the sifat of these alphabets, and the third thing is the tajweed rules. So tajweed, learning tajweed, these are the 3 broad categories which you can classify tajweed into, and which is what you need to learn or know in tajweed. And of course, how do you know a reciter is good or no? If a reciter is good, you will know by their recitation. Why? Because they will know the fineness of the characteristics of the letters, and you can make out that. Like for example, seen. When you say Surah Nas, the almost all the ayah, when you say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس. If I just say like that, Nas, the scene, like that sound should come, a hissing sound. But if a reciter is not good, they may not do it properly. So like that, there are many things that we will know when we see each alphabet's characteristic. So linguistic definition of characteristics. تعرفها في اللغة means linguistic definition. لغة means language. هي ما قام بالشيء من المعاني. What serves the purpose of describing the meaning. For example, physical descriptions, like for example, when you say this thing is white or this thing is black, that you can actually see. But there are certain things such as the education qualifications, like this person is a doctor, this person an engineer. So those characteristics you cannot see in a person, they're abstract. So one thing would be something that describes the meaning, and uh, that is what is definition of sifat al-huruf. Linguistic definition of characteristic. What do you mean by characteristic? So one is the character of the person, which shows you the meaning. It can be what you can see or what you cannot see. Whereas over here, when we are saying what is sifat, what we mean, so the applied definition for us, what sifat means is هي الكفية العارضة للحرف عند حصوله في المخرج واللي والتي تميزه عن غيره. Meaning the mode of demonstration of the letter when it occurs. Whenever you say the letter, how are you presenting it? How are you demonstrating it? At its makhraj, and that is what differentiates that letter from the other letters. In just 2 classes back, we said that every letter, every alphabet is unique. In the Arabic language, every alphabet is unique. No two letters will be the same. And why that happens is because each letter has a different combination of sifat. So they can never be the same. When we say sifat, we have two kinds of sifat that we need to learn. One is as-sifatul asliya. Asliya. Asliya means asli, means real. It's the basic or intrinsic characteristics. The one is that they are part of the makhraj, or the part of the makeup of the letter. They will always be there with the letter. It will not be that, okay, sometimes I put the sifat in the letter, sometimes I will not put the sifat in the letter. No. This is how they are. It will always be there with them. And the other is sifatul aradiyya, meaning incidental or conditional characteristics. So here these will not be always there. There will be some conditions, and based on that you have to bring out these sifats. So in some cases these sifats will be there, in some cases it will not be there with that same alphabet. Like for example, if you say idgham, when do you do idgham? You have some conditions. If the conditions are not met, then you will not do idgham. Idgham actually, it not only refers to the noon sakina rule idgham that we have done in volume 1. There is something else also which we will be doing in this book. It comes a couple of chapters later on. So that time we will study again what that idgham means here. And in idgham we had done that may ya'mal, for example. And when I'm doing idgham of noon sakina, I don't always do like when you say man amana. Now here I did not do idgham of noon. So sometimes you're doing idgham of noon, sometimes you're not doing. Why? Because you have idgham based on a particular condition. So same way sifat al-aradiyya will be conditional characteristics. So let's begin with intrinsic or basic characteristics, which is sifatul asliyya. These are 8 and they are in pairs. You have 8 characteristics, they're all in pairs, and each is the opposite of the other. Like white, if I'm saying white is a characteristic, the other is black, which is the opposite. So white and black is one pair. Also, you have 7 characteristics which do not have opposites. 8, I said, they are in pairs, they have opposites. Additionally, there are others which don't have their opposites, they are by itself. Like, for example, if I say long, I can have an opposite, that this is long, this is short. But if I say something such as this person is a doctor, I don't have any opposite for that, but that would be a physical character, sorry, not a physical, abstract characteristic of a person. So you will have some, like this pencil is very sharp and this pencil is very blunt. Okay, there again you have opposites, but some you may not have. And each of the letters, now every letter will not have only one characteristic, it will have a combination of characteristics. At least 4 will always be there, which is, we said 8 characteristics are opposites, they're in pairs. So it's 1 2 one pair, 3 4 another pair, 5 6 another pair, 7 8 another pair. So from each pair there will be one for each alphabet. So you will have at least 4 characteristics. Now here is a list of the 8 characteristics that have opposites. فمن صفات ذوات الضاد. الضاد means opposites. Opposites plural. ضد means opposite, and al-dad means opposites in plural. So the sifat is mentioned on the left side, and its opposite ضدها, its opposite on the right side. One is hams, one is jahr. First, what you need to do is just by heart the chart as is with the meaning mentioned here. Then once you know it, we will go into the details and learn what each one means. So you have hams and jahr. Hams, you can remember with her. Her for hams, her for hawa, which is wind. So when you whisper, you don't hear more sound, but you get more of wind. When you talk like this, you cannot hear much, but you can feel a lot of air. So that's her, hums. Jahr is apparent, evident, clear. Then the next one, actually, it is not only pairs, the next one, it has something in between also. So you can see the in between, at-tawassut, al-bayyina, that's in between. Whereas what is in between? It is between strength and softness. Strength is shidda. You can remember that with shadda. Shadda means strength. So if a letter has shadda, it's 2 alphabets, and 2 letters have more strength than 1 letter. So shadda, tawassut. Tawassut is also known as bayyina, and al-rukhawah, that's softness. Al-isti'ala. Isti'ala means something that is elevated, raised. Isti'ala and istifal. Istifal you can remember from fall. And ist and ist is there in both. So you will remember opposites: isti'ala, istifal, isti'ala, istifal, isti'ala, istifal. Hams jar, hamsun jahrun, hamsun jahrun, hams jar, hams jar. Shidda tawassut rukhawa, shidda tawassut rukhawa. Al-isti'ala, istifal, isti'ala, istifal. Isti'ala is raised, istifal is fall, so isti'ala has to be the opposite of fall. Then you have itbaq and infitah. Infitah is from fatha, open, so it's open, and addition, it's the opposite, it's closed, itbaq. So these are 8 characteristics which have opposites. You will see that here there will be 1 extra because of that middle, so it will be 9 here. The 7 which are without opposites, like if we say that an alphabet is having a whistling sound, like S or S, do you have any opposite of that? That opposite of whistle? No. The only thing is this thing has a whistle or this thing does not have a whistle. That is the only best opposite that you can have. So if a letter is having the characteristic of whistle, another letter may be there which may not have the characteristic of whistle. So these are sab'a sifat. Sab'a means 7. Sifat, la ad-dad wa laha. La ad-dad means opposite, laha for it. There is no opposite for it. One is whistle, as-safir, al-lean, that's softness. Inhiraf is it's moving towards harf, moving towards something. Harf literally also means the end of something. So it's drifting. Takrar is from takrir, repetition. Tafashi, spreading out. And Istitala is lengthening. You can remember again with this with tall. There's a tall. Tall means you can remember tall, something that is tall. It's lengthened. So istitala, lengthening. Al-ghunna, nasalization. So these are 7 which do not have any opposites. Now there is a note here. Imam Ibn al-Jazari, he is one of the very old famous scholar of Tajweed, and he has written a poem on Tajweed called Al-Jazari. Yeah. Some scholars, and Imam Ibn al-Jazari is one of them, who mentioned 2 other characteristics with opposites, which is ismat and al-zalaqa, or you know the alphabet of zalqiyya. So zalq or ismat. Ismat, forbidden, and the fluent. These are part of Arabic phonology. They have no application of tajweed for the letters, and they don't have any effects on the pronunciation as well. So that's why it's not mentioned here. So we will begin with characteristics that have opposites. We will cover the first one in today's class, and the second one onwards, second one we'll do in next class, because first what we'll do less. Why? Because we need to memorize the chart, which is the chart of the characteristics. So we will give some time to that. So one is hams and jahr. Hams is whispering, and jahr is apparent, clear. Whisper in the language wise, the definition is al-khafa, conceal, to hide, khafa, khafi, hide. Whereas al-jahr, apparent, is al-i'lan, which is apparent, clear. Whereas for us, the applied tajweed definition, hams means the running of breath when you're pronouncing the letter. Okay, hams, you can remember her for hawa, for air, the air will be running. Your breath will be running when you're pronouncing the letter. Why? Because its origin is weak. So that letters originated from this weakness. It came, why it came from the weakness of relying on a letter at its articulation point of origin. So running of breath when you're pronouncing the letter due to its weakness in its origin, which originated from weakness of relying on the letter at its makhraj. So its makhraj is weak, the sound is weak, and that's why the breath will be running. We will see what letters come under this, but let's see the definition of jahr as well. Jahr is the opposite. So here your breath will not be running. You will be imprisoning your breath when you pronounce the letter. Why? Because of the strength and because of that strong makhraj that it has. So what you need to remember for most of these is, for any one of them you will remember the alphabets, and the other one will be all the rest of the others. So here you need to remember the letters of hums, and what does not come in hums will be other than these letters. So there is a code word, and this code word is from this poem of Imam al-Jazari, al-Jazariya poem. It is فَحَثَّهُ شَخْصٌ سَكَتْ. You will remember this code. The letters of hams are فَحَثَّهُ شَخْصٌ سَكَتْ. فَحَثَّهُ. And actually these, the ones what they have used in the poem, they have a meaning as well. But for us right now, the meaning is not important. So it's fine if we just remember this. So you can see the letters fa, ha, tha, then other ha, then sheen, kha, sad, sin, kaf, ta. So you have 10 letters here. Let's recite them and see. Take your hand, put it in front of your lips and say F. F. Can you feel air on your hand? Ah, S, ash, akh, ash, s, ek, at. I had my hand right now in front of my lips, and for each of these letters I felt air on my hand. If you are not feeling air on your hand, that means you are not reciting that alphabet properly. Even when you're reciting the Quran, and for these letters, if that air doesn't flow out, means your letter is not proper. Like قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. If I just say nas like that, it's not proper. I have to say nas. The air has to come out. So فَحَثَّهُ شَخْصٌ سَكَتْ. Let's try some other letter which is not here, like ba. Ab. When I'm putting my hand, I cannot feel any air. and Jim, edge. Can't feel an A. So your homework will be memorize the chart, which is the opposites, list of opposites with the meaning, the list of non-opposite characteristics again with the meaning, difference between hams and jahr. What does hams mean? What does jahr mean? What are the letters of hams? فَحَثَّهُ شَخْصٌ سَكَتْ. Recite them with a sukoon, each of the alphabets here, keeping a hand in front and see if you can feel the air. Write on first in your notebook alif to ya, write all the letters, circle these letters, write heading hams and circle these letters. Recite the circle letters with sukoon first and see if you can feel air. Then recite the other remaining letters which you have not circled with sukoon again, like ab, edge, then akh, and then see if you're feeling air. Sorry, kha is from here. Jim, ha, kha, dal, ed. I should not feel air. And if you are feeling air, then try to correct them. Try to say it in such a way that فَحَثَّهُ شَخْصٌ سَكَتْ. These letters you can feel some air, and the other letters you don't. And from now on, whenever you recite Quran, when you come across these letters, make sure that air comes out. And for other letters, make sure air does not come out. Inshallah, we will end this class here only for today. You have a lot to learn for today's class, and going forward also there will be a lot, because we will have many characteristics, many codes for the letters to memorize. So that's till page 8 of the book is what we have done. Hams and Jahr. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. You have any questions? You can send in your questions